Hello again from Florida. We're in Daytona Beach, LPGA International, where I teach some in the wintertime. This is our third series of 8, getting ready for us to play on June 1st. And we started in the first one with putting inside and then chipping. And today we've been able to move outside and do pitching. So we're working our way towards the full swing. First of all, if you wanted to get a little pitching net like that, they're fairly inexpensive on Amazon. That might have cost us $20. So you could still pitch inside if you wanted to. They've got golf balls that are foam. You still get the motion that you're looking for. But today we're going to say that you're outside and you're able to pitch onto a green. So just a couple of things. We do have graphics today, like we did before. So your two main clubs to pitch with. And remember, the pitch has more height to it than roll usually. And the chip has more roll than height. Your pitching wedge is one of your main clubs. It's 45 degrees approximately. And your basic club to use to get the ball in the air higher is 56 degrees. So those two clubs to pitch over something. And if you remember when we did the chipping, we talked about using a putter first, and then a pitching wedge second, and then a 7-iron, and then maybe even a hybrid. So we're running the ball more chipping. We're pitching the ball higher with our pitching wedge and our sandwich. So number 2 that we want to talk about, it's a little breezy, so bear with me. We still have our chipping mantra. Remember our mantra, which is hands down, feet close, ball middle, brush the wide. We'll go over that in just a little bit just to remind you of what we did last time. But chipping, pitching, basically pretty similar setup. There are some varieties as a person really gets good at pitching the ball, but that's more for the advanced player. And most of us are still struggling just to be halfway decent. Our third little graphic here, and this is important stuff right here. Additionally, the wrist hinge is proportional to the length of the arm swing. I'll go over that. And then the swing itself is symmetrical back and through, pretty much even on both sides. Many times I see players with a very short back swing and a very long through swing, or vice versa. We want it to be relatively symmetrical on both sides of it. That way it's fairly easy to help people determine what length of swing they have. So if we talk about a clock, and this is 12 and that's 6 and I'm setting up, then a lot of our chip pitching would be 8 to 4, 8 over here, 4 over here, some 9 to 3, and some even 10 to 2. Those are the very high lofted ones, or as we get further from the green. So having said that, let's go back into our setup position. And you can see both clubs here. There's the pitching wedge that usually have 45 degrees. Most sand wedges are 54, 56. The 56 is the standard. You can see that has more loft, gives it more elevation. So both very good clubs to use. The pitching wedge more so when you want some run. The sand wedge when you want more height and more stop. So hands down on the club, feet close, ball middle, and brush the wide. Remember, the club and the arms create this letter Y, and if we just keep that intact back and through, and without an excessive use of hands and wrist, we can hit the ball straight where we want it to go. Let me just demonstrate just a couple here. Hands down, feet close, ball middle, brush the wide. And you can see how I've turned through on that fully. My hips and my chest are really working towards the target. We don't want to be stagnant from our hips down like we did in putting. We wanted our putting model to be very quiet from the hips down. So symmetrical is basically just swinging the club, let's just say where our hands are to hip height, and then on the through swing, where our hands to hip height on that side. We want to minimize the mistakes by minimizing the amount of wrist action that we use in all our chipping and pitching swings. And a great drill to do when you have a place to practice is to start at just 20 yards off the green and work back. 10 balls from 20, 10 balls from 30, 10 balls from 40, 10 balls from 50, weekly. If you do that weekly, you're able to get a feel when you're on the golf course of what length of swing that you need for those length of shots, because that's where everybody gets confused. They don't know what length of swing to make for a particular shot. But what you have to do is you have to train yourself. You have to train that feel. So remember, pitching, sand wedge and pitching wedge. The wrist hinge is proportional to the length of the arm swing. The swing is fairly symmetrical. And as long as they're getting that strike where club is hitting ball and ground at the same time, we're able to control our distance consistently. So hopefully that helps. Danny Caverly, Director of Instruction at Willow Bend on Cape Cod. And thank you for visiting this video, and hope this helps.